So I want to take you back a couple weeks. Remember the eclipse here in the United States? It was a very big deal. And I want to actually step back one night, the night before the eclipse. So I was up in Nebraska at the Agate Fossil Beds National Monument. That's where I saw the eclipse, the total eclipse, which was an amazing thing. And highly, highly recommended. Total eclipse, incredible. The difference between a 99% partial eclipse and a total eclipse, total game changer, totally different. It was amazing. So anyways, I'm the night before the eclipse at this national monument, which is a lot like a national park here in the United States. And they had a stargazing event, party happening at the ranger station. So I went over there to it, and it was pretty cool. And so there's a bunch of amateur astronomers with great big telescopes, big massive telescopes. And they had them trained up on the heavens, and they were, you know, we could see Saturn and with the rings, which was really, really cool. And then there was like this M4 globular cluster or something like that. I'm not so good with stars. A lot better with business and marketing than with stars. But he had this trained on this globular cluster thing, and it was pretty cool. It was this group of stars that orbits the Milky Way. And it looked pretty neat. And this super, huge telescope, massive telescope. But what was really fun for me was the guy who's there with his telescope, this amateur astronomer, but obviously very, very serious, was there, and he would just explain. Person after person would come up to him, and he would take the time to explain what they were looking at, this globular cluster. I hope I'm getting that term right. I don't know if it's right. It probably is wrong. But he would explain it, and then another person would come up, and another person would come up, and he kept on explaining. And then occasionally there'd be another question just from completely out of left field. It's like, how do you know what that is, or what's that? And then he was talking about the photons that left that globular cluster thingy, or the Andromeda something or other. Those photons that were reaching our eyes were 2.5 million years old. That's how long ago they left that heavenly body and took to get to Earth. 2.5 million years. Absolutely amazing. That is something that gets you thinking. But he would sit there and explain this stuff over and over and over and over. And I it was dark, obviously. It's a night. We don't want to mess up our night vision. So it's completely dark, but probably 100 people. And one time or another, every person probably came up to him, and he told them all about what they were looking at. And then they'd have all these different questions, and he would answer question after question. But a lot of times he kept on having to repeat himself over and over and over and over. And he never lost his enthusiasm once. He was just having the greatest time. And I'm thinking, this guy is a total astronomy nerd. Like 99.9% of his life, no one wants to, he bores people to tears when he starts talking about astronomy. His wife is probably just like rolls her eyes back as soon as he starts talking about stars and planets. The guy's a total geek. Total astronomy nerd. No offense if you're into astronomy, but it's not something that people usually get excited about. But this one night, he was like the rock star. He was the star of the show. People couldn't get enough of it. And he was just reveling. He was just enjoying sharing his wisdom, sharing his knowledge. And it was just really fun to see him have that experience, even though I've never met the man. In fact, it was dark. I don't even know what he looks like. But I got to feel and hear his enthusiasm. And it was just so much fun for me. And I got to thinking, that's sort of what I do in my life is I help people that might be nerds or geeks or whatever word you want to use about a specific topic. It might be meditation. It might be coaching kids for soccer. It might be playing tennis. It might be training your dog. It could be any one of 1,000 areas where someone's just got this huge passion for a topic and knowledge of a topic that they can share with the world. And my job is to give them the system to do it. And I love that. I just love to hear from my PLF owners that get to go out and change the world. They get to go out and help people. They get to go out and share their wisdom and make people's lives better. And so it was just fun in a completely different setting to sit here and listen to this man who I've never met before and I'll never meet again. I don't even know what he looks like. I just know what he sounded like, and I know I got to look through his telescope and hear him share his passion and his knowledge and his research and his wisdom with those 100-some people that were gathered there. It's really amazing to be able to see someone in that sweet spot where they are in their passion and get to share it with the world. So that's all I've got for you this week. Wherever you're at, scroll down, leave a comment for me, tell me what you think, and let's go get them this week.